Okay, so hello. I'm Michelle Renee, and this is the crooked lash, the crooked eyelash. Get it right, girl. I've waited too long to make this next recording. I've been trying to tighten up some other areas of the right side, and now I am almost together. So, what I want to share with you today is another story of jealousy. And how jealousy is it's like an illness that we need to heal from, or we need to get well from. And when I look back on some of these things, I think I was out my damn mind. But at the time, I felt like I want to knock somebody's block off. It's such an evolution. It is such an evolution out of jealousy. And you'll never get rid of it. I don't believe you'll ever get rid of it totally. But you need to calm your ass down if any of your stories match some of these stories that I'm going to share. I've asked people to share their stories with me too, and I know it's a very personal thing, so if they want to share their friend's story, that works for me too, because people need to know that when they're out there acting crazy, they're not alone, and there's some healing from it. There's a way not to be jealous, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. You have to talk to somebody about it. You have to get to the point where you can look back and see the craziness, but also see where there was options and choices. And if you're doing that now, seeing that there were other options and choices for you, not the other person, options and choices for you, if you're seeing that but still having the same behavior, you haven't healed. You haven't healed. You still have the disease of jealousy, which is much worse than the sickness of jealousy or the ailment or the fever of jealousy, because there's stages and grades to it. You know, there's envy, a little bit of envy. It's like, oh, wow, somebody got a new car. I really, really, really wish I can get a new car. Darn, dang, does she deserve a new car? So there's different kind of jealousies, but that romantic jealousy is the one. It's the one. So again, I'm going to tell you, so this is what happened to me, but it wasn't my jealousy. I was a victim of jealousy in this one. Actually, I was a victim in the other jealousy too. But the first one I created. That whole car chase, me. So in this one, I was a victim of jealousy in the sense that I was attacked. And I'll tell you now, I ended up on Judge Joe Brown. Okay? We ended up on Judge Joe Brown out there in California. So let me just let you know that now, that all of this shit ended up on TV. So, alright, so I don't know why I always got to give this long backstory, because to me it's important to the story. So, alright, so I was dating this dude who was an alcoholic. And I didn't have a problem with him being an alcoholic, because he was fun. He was kind of a fun alcoholic, but he got DWIs. So when he got one of his DWIs, one of his many DWIs, they put him into program. And he was living with me at the time. So they put him into program, and in support of him, I stopped drinking. Because, at that time, I didn't need to drink as much as I feel like I need to drink now. But so they put him in program. They was testing him for alcohol and everything. And to support him, I stopped drinking. So for 8 months, I didn't drink. All right? So during this 8 month, I met this guy who I ended up marrying. I'm married to him now. This story is pretty old, but I'm married to the guy now. So I met this guy when I was kind of on the outs with the boyfriend who I'd stopped drinking with. So I kind of met him then, and we were about to separate, blah, blah, blah. All right. So now I'm kind of talking to this guy, my husband. So now I'm talking to my husband. We're like, having conversations more steadily. All right. My drunken boyfriend Terry had moved out the house, or was asked to politely leave the house. So anyway, so now I'm starting to deal with this guy. I didn't know my husband very well at the time, but I knew him enough that I was interested in getting to know him more. And I had moved my baby daddy into my house. Right? So my daughter was at college, so I moved my baby daddy into the house because, he needed a place to stay. We were friends. We got along fine. So he's in the house. I'm dating my future husband, and Drunky is gone. So finally this night I decide to go out. And I hadn't been out in a while, so I decided to go out. So I put on my I haven't been out in a while clothes on. You know, the big heels, tall heels, the cute little this, the cute little that, and just looking cute. So I go out. So I go out to this place in a small club, a hole in the wall joint, and I'm chilling. And I haven't been out in a while, so I just was happy to be by myself. So I went out, I'm sitting down, I'm chilling. I met this lady, actually met two people, and they were like, wow, you really nice. And they were just talking to me, and all three of us are talking. In comes my husband, my future husband. So I'm like, ooh. He caught me on a looking good night, bet. So he comes in the door. He comes over, gives me a little hug. I've had a couple, and I hadn't been drinking in 8 months. I'm feeling good. He looking good. Sound like a good mix, right? Little did I know that behind his back was daggers. That bitch behind him wanted to murder him for walking over to me. But I didn't know what they situation. I didn't know there was a situation. All I know is I had a lot of drinks. I didn't have a boyfriend. My future husband was looking good. Like everything was seeming to line up. That's all I knew. So he went over. Apparently, he went over to the girl who was talking to her, and I'm talking to the two new girls I met. It's all good, right? He goes and gets me a drink, and he gets one of her friends a drink. So, what do I care? I had a drink. I'm sitting there, and now my future husband has walked away. He's somewhere else, and I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, this bitch comes flying at me and grabs me. But I don't know. Listen, first of all, I'm tipsy, and I'm talking, and I'm not paying attention, and she grabs me, and we end up on the floor in this filthy ass bar with my cute ass and my high heels. But I definitely was very tipsy because I'm still disoriented. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I grabbed her shirt, her t-shirt. Yes, this is the kind of bitch that wear a t-shirt to the club. So I grabbed her t-shirt, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get my bearings because I'm out of sorts right now because I just got snuck. So I'm out of sorts. I'm like, what's going on? So all of a sudden they all beating my hands like, let her go. I don't even know who the her is yet. Let her go. So now they hitting me to let her go. And all I could think of is, boy, if I could just get my bearings, I'm going to crack this bitch jaw. That's all I was thinking about. Like, yo, get it together, Michelle, because you need to hit the right person. And I know I said I shouldn't tell violent stories, but it was kind of semi-violent. Nobody died. So anyway, so I got this girl's shirt. So finally I do let it go because I ended up breaking a fingernail, and that shit hurt. I don't know if you guys got tips or not, but when a fingernail pop off, that's just like getting punched right in the stomach. Like, whoop. So now my fingernail popped off. I feel like it's bleeding. So I let her go. Okay. So now I'm sitting on the floor, the middle of the filthy floor. One of my shoes is off, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the hell just happened? All of a sudden, somebody says, damn, there's a lot of hair on the floor. And then it hits me. My wig got pulled off. My damn wig is laid in the middle of the bar. So, and I got a stocking cap on underneath. But underneath my stocking cap, actually, I had washed my hair and I had conditioner still in my hair. So my wig, I reached the top of my head. I look, girl, my wig is spread eagle all across the middle of the dance floor. And the other girl had a little piece of hair laying out there too, but she left hers. But shit, I went and got my damn wig and shook it and put that bitch right back on my head. What? I didn't want to look ridiculous walking around there. So, okay, so now I'm like, all right, let me get it together. Now, I didn't have my pocketbook, and one of the two ladies who I had just met that night, one of them has had my bag. She's like, girl, what happened? I got your bag. What happened? And she was a young girl, too, really nice. So she gave me my bag and everything, and here comes my future husband. What's going on? I was like, bitch, you know exactly if anybody here knows what's going on, it's you who knows what's going on. So, but I don't want to talk to him because I want to go find this girl. Not to fight her or anything because that would be immature. I want to know what the hell. So I kind of go outside, I go down the street, I take my pocketbook from that girl and I hand it to my future husband, right? So I give it to him. Why? Not sure, but I give it to him, and because I honestly I ain't know him that much either, but I knew him a little more than the girl who had my bag. So I give it to him, and now I'm walking down the street barefoot. Why do all my stories seem to have a common theme of being damn barefoot? Because I have 4-inch sandals, strappy heels on. You know, I can't listen. So I'm barefoot, crooked wig, drunk. Who knows? Probably have beer stains on me somewhere. So I go outside. The girl is out there now. She's coming toward me, and she got something in her hand like a bat or something. So I'm like, I'm confused. I'm really confused, truly confused about what the fuck is going on. So she coming toward me, and I'm like, what the hell is the problem? What's the problem? What? Oh, you know what the problem is. She starts screaming. So all of a sudden, right next to me, my car pulls up next to me, and it's Tony in it, my future husband. He's driving it, and he's driving to pick me up, but this bitch is walking toward me with a bat. So I'm like, move my car, get my car out of here. So I go, so now there's a cop there. So I go to the cop, I'm like, yo, that girl is coming toward me with a bat, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? Those officers could care less about what we do to each other out there. They hated the bar that we were in. They hated the neighborhood we were. They hated everything about the place. So to him, if she'd have killed me, it would have been one less person he would have had to arrest later on. So anyway, so I'm saying this shit to him, and he is definitely not listening. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go home. So I get in my car. My future husband, Tony, go wherever he go, because, you know, I don't got nothing to say to him. Bye. Boof, poof, poof, be gone. So I go home, and at my home is my baby daddy. So he looking at me, wig crooked, probably had popcorn in it, bear stains, no shoes, broken fingernail. This bitch is like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? So I tell him the story, and he's all mad and everything. He's like, you know what? You know, you shouldn't go to that place. You know, he's giving me the old lecture and everything, and blah, blah, blah. So then, here comes my future husband, Tony, call me on the phone. I ain't got nothing to say to him. I said, give me whoever that bitch name and address and phone number was, or you ain't got nothing to say. Who was she, and give me all her stuff. And he did. He gave me the stuff. He gave me some of it. He didn't give me the address, but he gave me the phone number and name. So the next morning, I go down to the police station because I want to press charges. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? That bitch had went down there that night and pressed charges against me. Against me. And you know what? I'm not hip to this. Like, I didn't know that was part of the game. Get to the police station before other people get to the police station. I didn't know. So when I go in there, the first person is like, yeah, right. You know, we don't play that restraining orders against each other business. Like, we don't play that charging whatever. And I'm like, listen, I need a report. So I don't need no protective order or whatever. I need a report that I came in here. And so then somebody came from the back, and she was like, oh, this is the other girl? Oh, I want to talk to her. And apparently when that girl went in there, she showed her ass like she did on Judge Joe Brown. And the woman came out, she's like, oh, I believe what you're saying. She took pictures, she took a report, and she did a temporary a TPO, a temporary protective order. So now we got court dates, right? So now we got court dates. But you know me, I watched all them Perry Masons, I watched all them Matlocks, all them court, Law and Order. I was lawyered up. I was TV lawyered up. So I had my picture. Oh, and I lost my cell phone. I forgot that. So along with the wig and the t-shirt and the shoe and the eyes and the nail and all that stuff, I lost my phone that night. So anyway, so I got receipts for the phone I bought. I had all kinds of shit. I had a receipt for the phone, proof that the phone had never been used again. I had a picture of my missing fingernail. I had what else I have? You know, a picture of my eye. Yeah, because she gave me a little eye joint. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I had a little eye joint going on. And all that shit when I went into court. And this is local court. So when I went into local court, the girl said, this is important. I worked in a court system at the time, but not that court system, but I worked within a court system. So when I went into the court, I've recognized the ADAs and they recognize me. Right? So the ADAs travel between the courts where I live. So they recognize me from being in the court that I worked in. So anyway, so the girl, the judge, the ADA comes over. He's like, "Listen, we're gonna give both of y'all ACODs, which is an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal." And some people call them ACDs, ACODs. They are they're these. If when you get one, if you stay out of trouble for 6 months, that they'll just drop all the charges. So most people take that. Like, good. Drop the charges, good. I looked at him with my oh hell no face. And he read it. Because I didn't even have to say oh hell no. I just said no thank you. We're going to take this to trial. I'm all my Matlock and Murder, She Wrote, Law and Order, CSU, what is it, crime, whatever. You know what I mean. No, we going to court. So he went to her, came to me, went to her. He was like, all right, I tell you what, we're going to drop them against both of y'all. I said, okay, you drop them against both of us. Very good. Because I also know that opens up my ability to have a civil case. It makes it stronger because they dropped it. You know, because in the criminal case, if there was nothing there, then the civil case, I don't have to prove that much. I don't know how it works, but that's what I learned on the People's Court. So anyway. So I filed a civil claim for everything, and my civil claim came to like $2,500 because I had all kinds of shit. I had my new wig course, my fingernail repair, new cell phone, pain and suffering, punitive. I'm telling you, boy, I'm a TV lawyer like a mug. So anyway, so I got all that shit in there, and so we go before the judge. The judge tells us to go in the civil case. He tells us to go in the hallway and try to get it together. So we go in the hallway. Now she's telling me the story of how he had just left her house and he had given her money and he'd be calling her all the time and all the stuff she said he was doing to her and everything she said. I said, I don't care what he was doing with you. I do not care. You came after me. You should have went after him. So since you came after me, you gonna pay me for my shit. Well, she was humming. Well, okay, I'm gonna pay you, but I can't pay you at one time. So I said, bitch, how often you get paid? Because I need to know. And I need a part of every one of them paychecks. And don't come telling me about Christmas time or nothing. Just give me my money. So we had made the agreement, blah, blah, blah. And that was all good. It was all written out and everything. I had her address. I had everything. I knew she worked. I was, what? TV lawyer to the rescue. Then I get a call. I get a call from the People's Court. I got a call from Judge Joe Brown, Judge Judy, and there was one more. I think it was Karen something. I don't know, but I got calls from everybody. I got calls, and I was like, wait, we already settled this. They were like, listen, she doesn't have, they hooked me up and told me she don't have to pay you if she don't want to. She can refuse to pay you. Even though you have that signed thing, you're going to have to take a judgment out against her. You're going to have to go after her property or, something. You're going to have to go after her for this money. But if you bring it to court, we'll guarantee you your money if you win. And shit, if a guarantee didn't sound better than me having to whoop her ass to get my money, so that sound good to me. So I said, okay. They said, but she has to agree too. So they called her and she agreed. So it was all good. Oh, dang, I'm the worst storyteller ever. At first I said no, because I didn't know I had to fly out to California, and I wanted to stay in New York because at the time my sister was sick and I wanted to be able to get to her if I needed to. So I kept saying no. I said no to everybody, but Judge Joe Brown kept calling me back. So Judge Joe Brown kept calling me because they give you money just to appear, and they give you money to use while you're there. So anyway, so they said, listen, if you come, they kept offering me more and more money. So your appearance fee starts out at like $100, and so they will give you $100 just to come. Win or lose, you'll get $100 plus the money we give you to eat, plus a free hotel and a free flight, right? I was like, no. I said no so much they offered me $500 just to come. So I went. So I flew out to California. They give you all that right away. So they give you the $75 so that you could eat They pick you up. They take you to the hotel. They pick you up from the hotel. You could walk. It was in Hollywood, California. You could walk, get some food, go see some shit, whatever. It was a pretty good trip. And then it comes time to go to court. I know I said I was gonna make this short, but I don't know how to. So now we go to court, and they separate us. So I go into this room, and I'm in a room with all of the plaintiffs. So they all got their story. We all in, like, I guess it's called the green room, but it would just look like some old back whatever room. So it was like a room. We all sitting in there talking, and all of the defendants are in the other room. So, we kind of busting it up or whatever, having a good conversation. So then the producer comes over to me, and she's looking at me like, whew. I said, what? She said, nothing. I just need you to sign these papers. So I signed the papers. I said, oh, but there's a mistake on here. There's a mistake. And I pointed out the mistake. She said, oh my goodness. I said, what is wrong? What's wrong? She was friendly, but she was kind of a sister girl kind of thing. So I was like, what's wrong? She said, oh my gosh, if there's a mistake, that means I gotta go back and talk to that girl. I said, oh, she giving you shit, huh? She's like, oh my goodness. Oh, this girl's some piece of work. She said, well, I'm gonna stay out of it. But all right, I'm gonna get this signed by her. All right, got that done. I go into hair and makeup. Good and damn well they ain't know how to do my hair or my makeup, because my hair could have been taken off, shook, and put back on. And my makeup, they didn't know what to do. They probably were just trying to take the shine off my face. I don't know, but I looked all right on TV. But I didn't want them messing with my face too much, because they probably use the same little powder on all them little ashy face people I saw in the green room. So anyway, all right. So now it's time. And you go in, and the producer this is what the producer tells you. They said, you can interrupt the judge, but you can't interrupt the bailiff. And if the bailiff tells you to do something, you have to do it. But the judge, you can kind of go a little bit back and forth with him. But, so I'm like, yo, just ain't no TV bailiff? Hold on, why would they talk about I can't mess with him? So I guess that I don't know. I guess that was, the warning of the one thing that will get you kicked off of here is if the bailiff says time for you to go. Whatever. So we go in there. We go in, and here we both are, side by side, haven't seen each other since court. And so here we go. When I tell you that Judge Joe Brown tore her a new asshole within the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I can chill then, because he got this. Yo, I don't know if the producer said that the bitch on the left, the respondent is a pain in the ass or what. I don't know what happened, but that bitch tore her a whole new ass, and I was like, dang, will he do that to me? So we were talking, like I was telling the judge how this was embarrassing for me because I work for the courts. And he said, oh my goodness, you work for the courts? And this dumb bitch said, exactly. And he said, you's a bigger fool than you look like. He's like, you embarrassed her in front of her. Judge Joe Brown used all them big words. Her constituents. Oh, dang phone. My fault. I should have turned it off. Oh well. And I'm not going to edit it, so if it go off again, you just will know it's my phone. But so anyway, so you embarrassed her in front of her constituents, and you proud of that? We going on and on. I was trying to say how I feel bad, and I got to tell my kids I was in a bar fight. We live in a small town. Everybody gonna be talking about my wig laying on the floor. Like, there was so much embarrassment to this because I had a pretty good job. So the potential for embarrassment was a lot. So I said that to him. I'm like, damn, I got to tell my kids this. And so she said, well, I got a kid too. The judge said, well, I feel sorry for her. Judge Joe Brown. And she came in there under oath and told us, as she said, a straight lie. She told the judge that I came up to her and punched her. And the judge wasn't buying it. He said, I could tell by the way you are in court right now you was mad that night when that lady was talking to that gentleman. And he said, I could tell right now. Because you know what? It did look like she was still mad, though. It did look like she was still mad. But anyway, so that was that. Fast forward, after he tore her ass apart, and she wanted to bring a witness up there, and I told them, I'm not coming up because her witness is going to lie too. So the only way I'm going to go is if it's just me against her. And yes, her personality did it all. So it did her in. So I was suing for like $2,300. He awarded me the maximum, $5,000. Boom. Hit the gavel, close the door. He awarded me $5,000. And they guarantee you your money. So within 30 days, you will have the $5,000 check. Plus the 500, plus the 100, 500, plus the 75 they gave me to eat. So I don't know what she got on her side, but I was winning. Anyway, so that was that story. So, but that was all over jealousy. And in the end, I ended up marrying him anyway. I got to know him. I don't know if her story was true or not. I don't know if he was still messing with her or not. I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is that we were good. We were good, and whatever she thought was happening or whatever, it was obviously over, because again, we ended up married. And she worked at Walmart, so her friends used to harass me in Walmart. So when I go to buy stuff, one time I went to go buy something, I think it was like White Castle burgers, the frozen ones, because I take them to work. She gonna scream across the thing, she gonna scream across Walmart, can you buy these with food stamps? And all I could do was crack up laughing. Or something like that. Or you can't buy these with food stamps no more. Or something she said. And I just stood there because I know I was winning and they were hating. So whatever is whatever. But I'm telling you that jealousy is a crazy thing. Now that kind of turned out, I don't know if she feels like that turned out in her favor or not. I don't know how she feels about it. But it's still very embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to me. And I would, if I were her, I'd be embarrassed to lose my control like that. To only have him still not be with her. So I just think that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's why jealousy is a disease that we need to get over. We've got to be mindful. We've got to delay our reactions to stuff. We got to think about it. We need friends in our corners that we can call that will talk us out of it. Remember how we used to have them friends that you call and they getting dressed as you talking to them because they gonna come to fight too? You need just a few of them, but more of the other ones be like, y'all, it's not worth it. We're getting older. We can get hurt. We can lose. We can be sued. All this other stuff. Jealousy is a sickness. Jealousy in romantic relationships, I get it. It's hard because when you put your heart in something, it's painful. I get it. But we got to put people in our circle, or we've got to train ourselves not to have those reactions, or have a delayed reaction, or have less of a reaction, or put it off to a later time. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but it can be done. And many people are doing it. Many people are doing it. So if you're that person, if you are that girl in that bar chasing after, fighting for some dude who obviously wanted the other person, listen, you need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody, because that's some crazy shit right there. And that's what I do at the right side. I try to help people really get to the root cause of some of these jealousy feelings, or insecurity feelings, or anger feelings, anxiety, sadness, all of that. I am not a therapist. I am a life coach, but I'm also a person who has been through it, who have talked many people through it. So I do have some knowledge and inside information and suggestions and strategies that can help you. So if you're interested, hit me up and follow your heart. What else I wanted to share with you today? I wanted to tell you about one of my latest ear hustles. And my ear hustles are when I am at a bar or anywhere. Come on, Michelle, stop acting like you just be at bars. But when I'm at a place where people are talking, and I get my ear hustle on, because I confess to being pretty nosy. And one of the conversations that they were having, and sometimes I get into them and sometimes I don't. I'm a northern girl, northern black girl in a southern state, and I'm the opposite of quite a few people here. But what they were talking about is this unemployment that's going on right now, and how there's such a challenge to get people to go to work. And they were so angry at the people who are refusing to go to work because they make more money on unemployment than they do on going to work. And I'm going to tell you right now, my ear hustle told me that's jealousy. That is jealousy. Because you tell me what person who, if they could be given the same amount of money that they earn, I'll just say the same amount, they could be given the same amount of money that they earn from working, without working, would they take it? Would you take it? Would you say, if you make $8,000 a month and you work for it, hard for it, whatever you do for it, and now there is a way for you to get $8,000 a month without having to go into work, having to do the labor, without having to do any of that, would you do it? And I'm curious for you. You tell me, would you still go to work? Because I think the thing to be more upset over is how little money people are making. So why? So I asked them. So, in this ear hustle, I did respond. And I said, I'm just curious to know, like, why, if you had the opportunity to get your exact salary right now, but not have to go to work, would you take it? And it was two people. There was a man and a woman, and they're getting married. And he said, absolutely. He said, but my point is the other people. I'm like, no. I didn't really want to get into a discussion about that. We can, but I just want to know where your mindset was on if you could get money for the same thing you do now. You know what I said before, like, get money. So she said, I'd probably get pretty bored. I'd probably want to go to work anyway. Dang phone. Blasted phone. She said I would probably go to work anyway. I said, okay. So I asked her what kind of work she did, and she told me, and I said, well, is there opportunity for you to volunteer there, whenever you got bored? She said, yeah, probably. I said, well, would you do that? She said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Bitches. I'm telling you, people always want to shit on somebody because they don't have the opportunity to do it themselves. Now, I'm not saying not going to work and taking unemployment is the best way. I'm not saying that, because unemployment is not going to last forever, and you're eventually going to have to find a job. So I get that. And I'm not saying I agree, but don't shit on all the people for their choice when you would make the same choice yourself. That's jealousy. So why can't you have empathy for the people and say, wow, I wish they could make as much money on at their job as they do on unemployment? Why can't that be the wish? Because it's inconvenience to you, because you want to get married and there weren't enough people, enough service, enough, what they call them, essential workers. There was not enough essential workers who could staff your wedding. And that's why you were upset. And caring for what these people's lives are. But you know what? That's me. That's that bleeding heart that everybody talks about. So anyway, so that was my ear hustle. What do you think? If you had the chance to go to be paid, even if it's for a year, for 1 year, would you take the money for a year, or would you continue with your job? What if you had a chance to make more money? So let's say that whatever your job is now, let's say you make $5,000 a month, but now you have an opportunity to get $6,000 a month for no work. Would you take it? I'm just curious. Some people say a year is not worth the sacrifice, because will I be able to find another $6,000 job or $5,000 or whatever? But I'm just curious to know what your thoughts on that. All right, so that's my ear hustle for today. My self-care word is, wow. I had myself. How about self-care? Jealousy is an illness. Get well soon. I admit that wasn't well thought out. I was gonna but that's what you get today. How about that? I will attempt to be better prepared in my next recording. But until then, please come back, share this with your friends, share this with anyone who you think has some issue with jealousy. I'm open to hearing a story, but I need the story to be audio or video sent to me. I don't want anybody writing stuff out, because you lose something in the writing of the thing. But if you want to share a story that's crazy, that you can't believe happened, just craziness. I have a friend, actually the parent of a friend of mine, who was so jealous that when her husband died, that this woman that he had cheated with, or was rumored to cheat with, had sent flowers to the funeral. Now, when I tell you that the funeral was in Georgia, and at the time we all lived in New York, and she drove flowers and the whole stand of flowers back to New York to give back to her. You see what I'm saying? Jealousy is a sickness. Sickness. So you know how big it is. The stand and everything scrolls up in the car with all those people and everybody smelling flowers all the way back home, which that's not a bad part anyway. But again, share your story. Share this with people who are struggling with jealousy. Have them come over to the right side. Reach out to me. My website is therightside.net. My email address is therightside@yahoo.com. Reach out to me. I'm Michelle Renee. And just reach out to me and let's have a conversation. Until then, you guys have a great, great, great day. We'll talk soon.